So today I'm going to be trying to change the brake pads on my Mercedes Cast C220 AMG. And now I've got a little light to come up on the dash to tell me that they're running low. Looked in there, I don't know if you can see in there. See if we can get in. Yeah, there's still a little bit of meat on them pads, but nowhere near the amount that there is on a new set. So let's get them off and see where we go from there. Right, so I've got the wheel off now, and then at the back end, this is on the driver's side caliper. Around here, you got this wire in here in this caliper. It plugs into this little plug at the back. It's difficult to see. There's a little plug. It goes in there, you pull it out. There we go. Be able to see it a little clearer once I get the caliper off. You undo that, and then by the looks of it, two nuts, one at the top, one at the bottom, and that should release the caliper. Let's have a look. Right, so now I've got the caliper off. You can see that they were two 13mm bolts, one at the bottom and one at the top there, and they have a 17mm nut on the other side. So if they're spinning, you can bung your 17 on one side and then unscrew with your ratchet or your spanner or whatever. But there's a wire I was talking about as well. That's that there, and on the caliper, I've set the caliper up here. It's careful to put the caliper up on top of there. You don't want to stretch the brake line and the brake hose. So it's up there nice and safe and secure, and there's that little plug that you have to go in. So that's where the wire goes in. That's for your brake sensor anyway. So there we go. That's where the sensor is. They are pretty low, these pads. Let's see if we can squeeze them out. Bit stiff. I'm sure they'll come out. Right, so the next part we've got to do is, before trying to get your piston, the piston is the part there inside of the caliper. That's when you brake when you push your brake pedal, this expands out. As it expands out, it pushes the pads tight in there, and they almost sandwich the disc. That's how it works. So what you have to do is you have to try and get this piston here back in to its housing. Now it's going to be difficult to do that when it's under pressure, because the whole brake system's under pressure. So the simple answer to that is, there may be other ways to do it, but the way I try and do this is I take the filler cap off where you top up your reservoir for your brake fluid. I take that cap off, and effectively anything I push fluid wise back down the pipe should go back up into the little reservoir. So that's what I'm going to try and do now. Let's see if we can get that piston pushed back in. Right, so this probably isn't the best way to do this, but I've managed to do it with a clamp clamped onto the back of the caliper, and as I put the thruster onto the piston of the caliper, and I've turned the thing and I've pushed that back, right back in. So now the pads should all go in. It should be good as gold. Happy days. Another thing you should be doing here, but because I haven't got any on me at the moment, I'm gonna have to revisit this, but you should really clean all these up and put some copper slick around them. Another thing I've got to mention is, with your sensor, this is the new sensor, here it is, you've got a tiny little hole in the back of the pad to look. Let's see, you've got to post this little stick bit, the male, into the female there, so you can get that into that little hole, push it in. Now that is inside the pad. When that pad's worn down, the wire inside that bit of plastic will wear away and then trigger the sensor to let the car know, The pads are worn out. That's that one. Let's just pop in something like that. And then the other side, these pads are directional. They've got an arrow on them, so obviously this will be the other side. Sit like that. But arrow for forward. That's it, that's the caliper back in. Just got to plug the little plug back in, and then it came with new bolts. So we'll laugh the old bolts off. They've been tensioned before. We'll pop in the new ones that they come provided. Alright, here we go, side number 2. I've got the wheel off. And same sort of thing, which is a good sign really that they're both worn at an even pace. There's not much left on this one either. On the passenger side, there is no sensor. There's no sensors attached, so it just must be a single sensor. So when your front is gone, then you're once your front, one side's gone, it detects it and tells you. Yeah. Something else what I had done for the MOT, which is nice, I can check while I'm here, is this new underarm bush. New bush arm under there, that's gone in now, which is nice and new. There's a little clonk, so quite a common thing, ball joint to go. But yeah, that's been replaced as well, so happy days, all good. Nice to keep you that right. One thing we must always remember as well, at the end of the job, don't forget to put your reservoir bottle lid back on. Happy days. So now, before you drive off, I like to give the pedal a couple of pumps before we even turn the ignition on, so it goes nice and hard. So I know that the piston is pushed back out again, it's clamped back up on them pads. Hold my foot on the pedal, start, it should go down slightly as the servo takes hold. Now we push it up, and that feels nice and hard, feels like a good pedal that. One way we find out is when we give it a drive. Hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll all be good. Happy days. That's how we change brake pads. Yeah, so I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Hopefully it was a bit of help to some of you out there. It might not be the way everyone would do it, but it certainly worked for me. So if you like that video anyway, hit the subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you in the next video. Take it easy.